Fins up. Only fans, but with a PH. You heard? Yo. White, orange, and teal. The physical real, you know it's a deal. There's blood, sweat, and tears. All up in his huddle with water to cook up a meal. My coaching in two with the combo was chill. Play action to chase, got hunger to feel. The cheetah is loose, he's going for blood. The end of the race only went for the kill. Miami, the city, the county, the block. We steady unpacked, tail getting the lot. Defense is strong and hard as a rock. Holland's a lock, and next one's a spot. Getting too hot, so turn up the fan. You look to the crowd, see Jimmy and Bam. Martin, Joe, and Sosa the mans. Your fellas, roll the clip, only fans.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Soso, and welcome back to another season of OnlyFans, a Dolphins post-game reaction show where we bring you everything you need to know about this week's Dolphins game. As usual, I got with me my main man, the delusional Dolphin fan, Joel. I got the skeptic, Martin, and debuting for the first time on OnlyFans. That is Raxo in the building. What up, my boys?
What's happening?
What's up, man?
1-0, baby.
1-0,
Sweet,
the Dolphins.
sweet victory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's talk about it. The Dolphins get off to a great start to the season, 36-34, beating the Los Angeles Chargers in LA. And this year, we're going to do OnlyFans a little bit different. I'm going to be moderating the show. We're going to have these three guys give their opinions on some of the notes and stuff that happens throughout the game. And we're just going to keep it real Dolphins, real post-game, real feelings. Now, fellas, I'm eager to hear what your immediate reaction would be to the game. If you guys can keep it to a sentence or two. Rax, you're new on the show. Let's get you started first.
Bro, all I can say is what a heart knocker, man. That's what that game was the whole ride. It was a shootout. It was a perfect first game. It was a perfect first game.
Absolutely. Martin, what were your first thoughts on this first game?
Tua had a hell of a game. That's for sure.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Joel, bring it home for us, dog.
Unreal. I mean, just an unreal game. Not a perfect game, perfect outcome, but just unreal. An unreal finish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you mentioned it, Joel. It wasn't a perfect start, right? We had that that first drive where we looked really sloppy, got off to a terrible start. Actually had two fumbles on the first drive, and the second one was costly because we were inside the 5 when it happened. Connor and Tua looked like they were a little bit out of the rhythm. What were your guys' opinion on how we started the game? More importantly, on how the O-line started the game, guys.
I mean, if anybody was looking at that game, the first snap of the game, you don't want to lose the ball. And then to bounce back and have the drive that the Dolphins did on that opening drive, where they connected to Tyreek and were able to move the ball pretty effortlessly, and then turn it over again because of a connection between the center and the quarterback. I mean, that's not what you want to see. So luckily we didn't give up a touchdown. We gave up a field goal, but that was obviously concerning, to start the game off.
It's the first game of the year. So to me, like, you get that rust off first game and you get a W out of it. Yes, it's something to look at, but it's not a big deal in my opinion.
I mean, listen, we've been seeing it since preseason. So, yeah, I think the rust should have been off by now. I do. I mean, you saw my reaction to the first two snaps. Cut him the fuck off the team. I'm sorry. Get him the fuck off. I mean, I overreact real fast, like
slight overreaction.
And I thought I was delusional.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, if you think about it, what we would want to see from this team, right, that was different from last year, is the immediate bounce back. And that's exactly what we saw. The very next drive for the Dolphins, Tua connects with Hill, connects with Waddle. And next thing you know, we're in a position where we can attack them on the offense. The Legion of Zoom was definitely on and popping. More importantly, Raheem Mostert was able to punch in the first Dolphins touchdown of the season. And if you look at his numbers, 10 carries for 37 yards, they don't blow you away. But we saw a commitment to him being involved in the offense, not necessarily only from the carries, but we saw him catch the ball as well. What if you had to scale it on a scale of 1 to 10, right? 10 being the absolute highest. How important do you think Raheem Mostert is going to be to this offense? Martin, we'll start with you.
If you're gonna ask me, it's gonna be a 10. It's gonna be a 12 because I don't think we're gonna be able to sustain what do you have, like 40 something pass attempts.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back to last year, the same thing. We started off running the ball, and then we just went away from it. It's a 10, easy.
What about you, Joel?
I mean, considering what's going on right now in that running back room, he is our number one. Jeff Wilson's still hurt. The rookie running back, Devon A-Chain, is still hurt as well. They're still mending his shoulder. So that leaves Ahmed right behind them, who didn't have the best game. He had a really good, phenomenal preseason, which gave him the job over Myles Gaskin, but didn't really have a lot of opportunities today to create anything. With the little bit that Mostert got, he made something out of it, which was great to see. I mean, he ran hard for those 36 yards that he had. Yeah, so definitely, I'm with Martin. This goes back to last year. We got to see more of the run. We love to see Tyreek and Tua connecting, which we're going to get to in a few, but we got to get the ball on the ground a little bit more.
Rax, what are your thoughts on the Mostert contributions for this year?
Absolutely. Mostert is a key element in the team, at least I believe so. Sure, we're going to be shooting it out left and right, but we also need to make sure that defense stays humble. And, Mostert's no punk, man. He runs heavy. He runs hard. He'll put the pads on you, and he gives us those nitty-gritty yards that we need to keep that defense, what's happening. Is it Mostert? Is it going to be one of the receivers? Key player, Raheem Mostert, bro.
Absolutely.
And don't forget that stiff arm whenever he gets the chance.
No, and look, even on his touchdown run that we're seeing here, you could tell that from the get-go he was running hard. Look at that, how he evades the first initial action, makes the first contact with the first defender, and plows straight through him for the touchdown. Then, of course, we get the patented surfboard celebration.
Oh my God. Surfing in LA, baby.
Yes,
surfing
sir.
in LA.
Yes, sir. and
Tubular did.
If you guys think about it, that I think gave the Dolphins the momentum that they needed, right? Now we get into the game, the rhythm is going back and forth, and we're seeing, the emergence of the relationship that Tua and Hill are creating. Now, let's just look at and appreciate this first highlight that we have on Tua's connection to Tyreek Hill for his first touchdown.
Field
position, courtesy of CBS, but look at this.
He's got Hill. That's a touchdown.
I mean, dog.
Talk to me, my boys.
If there was a time to have a perfect pass, that was going to be it. Because you know what, everybody knows that I'm an all-time Tua defender, man. I think the kid is the promised land for me. But I've been called extremely delusional for that plenty of times. But in the beginning of the game, man, they just weren't there. They weren't there, and I was starting to be like, "Yo, where's the most accurate QB in the league? Where he at?" And when he drops that perfectly in the basket like that, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
All right, and not just that, Rax. I mean, this guy, he does things sometimes. If you're watching the game from the beginning to the end, where you're like, what are you doing, man? A couple questionable throws into double coverage and stuff. There was a couple to Tyreek early in the game where he underthrew him, and Tyreek had to be a DB and come back to the ball. On that play right there, he said, there's no way I'm underthrowing this ball. He stepped up beautifully into his pocket, confident, got a shout out the O-line, who really gave Tua a lot of space today to do his thing. And, man, he just put it on the money. And it was just the beginning, frankly, for the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
No, you can't. Honestly, overall, you saw what you needed from Tua today. Although he had his mistakes, I don't expect him to be 100% every game. When we needed him, he stepped up. There was some little passes here and there that I was like are pretty questionable, but overall, like he really was the offense today. Like although Hill was the contributing factor to that, Tua played very, very well. And
you talk about Tua and his importance to this offense, right? He was huge on third down today. The Dolphins really put themselves in positions where their third downs were makeable. They ended up being 4 of 9 for third downs, 1 fourth down conversion that they were able to attempt and get. And that we mentioned it on the podcast. We needed to see them be fluid on offense, right? Because the type of talent that is on this team is for this offense to be able to score and drive down the field. And we saw that a lot today. I wanted to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on River Craycraft being the rated hero of the game, MVP of the game? I want to know why this guy should win the award over a guy like Tyreek Hill who had a monster day, and over a guy like Tyreek Hill, Tua, who had a monster day.
He's not.
No.
He's not. He gets like a. I mean, I'm not gonna. You'll get an honorable mention, homie, and a good looks, but he also dropped one towards the end there that Tua put right on him, right in his hands. So
True.
with the day that Tyreek had and the day that Tua had, I mean, he's third on that list, and I mean, if you want to
That's
talk
a good thing.
big
He's ahead
plays,
of
I'll
Waddle.
put Jalen Phillips ahead of him.
Damn, that's cool. What were you gonna say, Rex?
Bro, who gave him this award? Like, wait, I'm trying to figure out.
I'm just saying we could have nominated him for the award.
Nah, you're the only
No,
one that's saying
facts,
that's cool.
facts. So, he'll fall like right there between 4 and 5 somewhere for me. But
6
There you
and
go.
7.
Oh, you
But,
guys are cold,
I mean-
man. You guys are cold, man. But listen,
Nah,
had a
he
big
did his thing.
touchdown.
He did his thing. River Craycraft definitely did his thing.
And he had a big touchdown to put Miami ahead for 17 or 14, right before the first half. And that momentum carried into halftime for sure.
Well, we can't go into halftime just yet. We gotta close out that first half.
I'm gonna mention it right now.
Oh,
Herbert led the Chargers down to the field goal range, right? And Dicker, their kicker, hit a career-long field goal to tie the game, right? 17-17. Yeah, that's Joel's favorite kicker.
51 yards,
kicker.
bro. What do you mean?
Hey, that's his career high. That's his career high. Either way, he made it. Dolphins get the ball back. We have about 10 seconds left on the clock. Tua connects with Hill down on the first play, gets some good yardage back. Now, on the second play, with about 4 to 5 seconds left, 3 seconds left, Tua throws a ball up to
Izukama.
Izukama, you know what I mean? And kind of forced the Chargers DB, J.C. Jackson, to commit a pass interference because he kind of didn't know if he was going to catch it or not, and he took a risk by running into him. That was a huge play, and we mentioned it on the podcast as well, the mentality that Tua has to take the appropriate risk right before the half in order to put us in a position, and Jason Sanders knocked down the field goal to make it 20-17 right before the half. How impressed were you guys with Tua today? Martin, I'm interested to what you got to say because you and I kind of share that hard line on Tua and what his expectations are. I think he exceeded all of our expectations for today. Wouldn't you agree?
Without a doubt. Again, I didn't see, other than probably, I'll say, just to give it a number, it was 3 or 4 passes that I was like, what the hell was going on there? But other than that, I'm not complaining. The O-line looked great on top of him looking good. Other than Connor Williams and the mishaps there, he had the time. He let the ball go quick. He didn't really give the O-line one of those days that they needed to make him be back there and sit. No, he got the ball out quick. He put it in literally the right person's hand, that middle, literally what they have. We had 300 yards literally just in the middle of the field. That was insane. Yeah. It was by far, it's a great way to start the season.
Rax, what were your thoughts on Tua today?
Listen, bro, Tua's my guy. But going back to what you said about taking those deep shots, I mean, I personally give that, like I told you guys, to the big balls of Mike McDaniels going for it on 4th down, which then we were able to actually score. Now we're able to get the ball back because we still have 3 timeouts. And I personally believe that was a strategy from the get-go, man. It was going to be, you find Waddle on the crossing route for your X amount of yards. You take your timeout, and then you just let it ride to it because I know you don't have an 80-yard cannon. So we got to get you closer and, let's see what the fuck happens. And bingo, it worked out. So, I applaud Tua and I applaud today's coaching as well. Today's offensive coaching was insane.
Joey, what are your thoughts there on Tua's performance for today?
I mean, these guys pretty much said everything. I just want to throw out a couple stats, reiterate them. 28 for 45, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, albeit with 1 interception, which wasn't a great throw to River Craycraft, I think, or was it to Barrios?
I think it was
to Barrios. And it was underthrown to the back shoulder, and it was like,
exactly. It was probably one of his worst decisions and worst passes of the day. But he also put, a couple on the money to Braxton Berrios too, right to catch the first down right in front of the head coach for the Chargers. And he was waving it off. He was like, no, it was like, dude, that was one of the best throws Tua's thrown all day. He threw one that he zipped right in between double coverage, right in between the zone. I mean, you look at the accuracy, man, on some of these throws. And honestly, I don't know that more than a few guys in the NFL can complete those passes, the things that he's doing. And then to go in to Los Angeles on the road as a dog and then grind out a win on a winning drive where you lead the team down the field and get the ball in this guy's hands right here, when you need to and come up with big play after big play and seal it off with a win. I mean, you can't say enough good things about Tua.
No, he definitely showed why he deserves to be the guy here and why he deserves to be in that MVP talk like he was last year. And you mentioned it, his grit and ability to kind of overlook that early mistake with the interception and bounce back from that shows that he has the mental fortitude that we need to see for a quarterback of his nature.
One other thing I want to mention
So
before we jump into
excited,
the
dog.
next
I'm
one.
so fucking excited.
I
Like, it's
know.
hard, so
Oh,
fucking hard to contain, dog. I'm looking at Tua right now as he develops, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm so proud of that kid, dog.
and then, but that's exactly right. That's the right sentiment, bro. Because on top of that, he didn't really take any hits today. Yeah, he made a couple bad throws, bad decisions on throws, but didn't really take a lot of hits. And on top of that, got the ball out when he needed to.
Yes, super important. But we have to credit the O line for that because they kept him with 0 sacks in the first half.
Without
right?
Teron Armstead.
Without Teron Armstead, which was super important. And Bosa was literally putting that pressure on him all day long. But they kept him up. And that allows Tua to, do his thing and not necessarily force throws because he can find the right guy. And we saw him do that a couple of times today in the first half. Now, in the second half, the Chargers received the ball. They march down the field. Herbert does a 1-yard touchdown run to put themselves back into position. Xavier Howard had 2 ugly pass interference calls on that one drive. He had 3 bad calls go against him today. Do you think that he's feeling the pressure, or it was him like getting the kinks out of what he can get away with? What do you guys think?
I mean, personally, I think that it was just the league cracking down now on more and more plays, bro. Now it's just a quick like Keenan Allen said, he hugged them on the first one. There's no hug on there. He was not hugging him or holding him. He was playing aggressive football, and he doesn't want to get beat. And he's known to hold, bro. He's known to pass interfere. Just that they're
That's a
throwing the
penalty.
flags now. Yeah, now it's a penalty, dog. So you gotta adjust to the league, my boy. I'm sorry.
What
I'm
about you,
sorry. As much
Martin?
as I
What
love
were your thoughts on Xavier Howard today?
To me, again, he is getting a little older. Although he's still good to me in my eyes. I feel like he is getting older, so he might not be able to keep up with some of these guys. Although Keenan Allen, isn't young either. But he's a good route runner, so he's gonna get him every now and then, and you'll take it. Passing interferences are gonna happen. Obviously, you don't want it in the end zone like it happened, because that puts your team in a bad situation. But either way, it was either a touchdown or penalty in that situation, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Joel, what were your thoughts on Xavier's performance today?
Yeah, that's not really what you want to see from number 25, especially on the first game of the season. We've had issues with we've had issues before with the contract and whether he was happy here or not. He's gotten his money and been pretty healthy for the most part. He's been our number one guy, so you definitely want to see that. But I think he played great the rest of the game. Honestly, I think he contained Keenan Allen as best he can. Keenan Allen can do a lot more damage than that, especially with Justin Herbert. So and then Mike Williams also got hurt for the Chargers too, so there was one less weapon that they had out there. So besides those two, I don't really think we're calling out Xavier Howard. Honestly, I think he's still a top corner in the NFL.
He definitely could have played better today, but he was playing with a lot of pressure facing a guy like Keenan Allen and even number 81. What's that guy's name? Mike Williams. Big guys, big wide receivers, tough guys to really defend, and he did his best
Somehow
today.
he was always fucking open. I don't understand how you can leave a body so big open all the time, bro. And I was like,
another thing is that we
guy that they have. Sorry, Martin. That guy that they have that scored their touchdown. Like I forget his name, Akbar or something like that. Like I'd never seen the guy before. He's like 6'9" or something like that, bro. When he caught the touchdown and extended it over his head, he almost dunked it over the pole.
Yeah, Parham. That was a big ass dude. He's a big target. He's a big target.
Crazy, bro. That guy's big. All they got is big receivers, bro. So I mean, Xavier Howard's not the tallest guy out there either.
No, but again, we saw the resiliency from this Dolphins team, right? They go down 24-20. Tua throws that interception where he makes that bad decision to throw a jump out to Barrios, right? I think it was second down when we even had that interception. It was just an untimely throw, right? It wasn't really necessary. But then on the next defensive series for the Dolphins, Cater Kohu, man, a guy who was thrown into the fire last year. And really excelled, showed today why he can be an NFL caliber defensive back. He had a huge sack on Herbert right after the turnover, and then allowed the Dolphins to start the next drive on the Chargers 35. yard line, which just ended up working out beautifully for the Dolphins. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on Cater Kohu really solidifying that position, because today he just played excellent defense. He had 9 solo tackles. He had that 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 6 total tackles. 9 total tackles, excuse me.
That kid's a dog, man. That kid's a dog. He's been a dog since he got in this team. He's been fighting for a spot. He looks good in that 4. He looks good in that number 4, man. It looks like, he
better than
that
Dalvin
4.
Cook, right?
He looks like hey, bro, listen. Fuck Dalvin Cook, dog.
Fuck
You know what I'm
Dalvin
talking
Cook.
about? Hey, I'm
Jet.
sorry.
Hey, I do got to mention, now that you said that, the NFL jersey changes this season have been wild, bro. I saw that 0's now in effect.
Yes,
so
sir.
Braxton Berrios is 0 among with 21 other NFL players, and everybody went from double digits to single digits all over the place, bro. I was like, wait, that? No, that can't be. Like, it took me a second to get who everybody was, bro. It's been wild.
Martin, what were your thoughts on Cater today?
I've been saying since last year, man. He's been one of those guys to step up, given the opportunity. He's taken advantage of it, and now with Ramsey out, even more playing time. He's showing that he can. He's one of the guys that are going to be sticking around for some time. I think when his time comes, he'll be one of those people to get a contract extension. I do feel like he is playing that type of way.
No, he would definitely be one of those guys that deserve a contract extension, right?
Hey, shout out Eli Apple. I'm gonna go ahead and say that publicly. Shout out Eli Apple.
You drunk?
No, that's a good call. Eli Apple
played pretty hard today. He played pretty hard today. He had some nice tackles.
He played well. You know what I mean? He played well. He was in position a lot of times, and more importantly, he didn't get beat for big plays. That's one thing that I didn't see us happen in the defensive backfield, which happened a lot last year in games, where our DBs were getting beat for big games. The one big play that they really had on us was Eckler's run, and that was straight down the middle. We got caught in a blitz package, and it just happened.
Nah, there was another one, and I'm glad. So this is a perfect segue, because on that Cater Kohu sack, he played great. I didn't really mention anything on Kohu, but he played great, especially on that sack. That's huge, to be able to do that from a corner blitz like that. But credit to Vic Fangio, I think, for turning up that play, because prior to that, there was one play where we did get beat deep by Keenan Allen, but we had an outside linebacker on him, and I'm like, why do we have an outside linebacker on one of the best receivers in the NFL? We need to have Kohu or Eli or one of those guys. And I think that he saw that, recognized that, and made that adjustment. And we didn't really see that matchup anymore on Keenan Allen. We had our better guys defending him. So shout out to Vic Fangio.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of adjustments on the defensive side today.
The thing you're going to see different from an experienced defensive mind coach like Fangio, that you saw different from Flores and I already forgot Boyer or whatever his name was. They were a lot of risk takers. Fangio's gonna show you what he needs to show you. So we were pretty vanilla, our defense, throughout the game, until certain situations like Kohu first sack, and then at the end of the game when we really obviously needed that.
Yeah, and he was dialing up those timely blitzes, like you said, Martin. He wasn't just sending the house just to send the house. He was definitely being very mindful about when he was doing it. And look, you got to give the Chargers a lot of credit and Herbert a lot of credit. That offense is the real deal. Kellen Moore, as an offensive coordinator, is the real deal, right? They charged down after we went up 27 of 24 with that Hill touchdown. They marched down the field, 10 plays, 75 yards, capped off by a Kelly 1-yard touchdown run to go up 31 to 27. And at that point, they had 4 straight red zone appearances and 4 straight touchdowns. In my mind, I'm thinking, what we talked about in the chat, which was where the hell is the defense going to be able to make a stop? Next drive for the Dolphins, that's when we see Braxton Berrios make his big contributions to the game. He made back-to-back huge catches on the next drive. He even caused the Chargers to use a challenge and lose a timeout. And then, Sanders ended up kicking a field goal. Hill couldn't bring down a catch. We're up to bring the game to a 1-point game, 31-30. Again, Howard with his third penalty on that next Chargers drive gives them an opportunity to get close enough to kick a field goal and put themselves ahead 34-30. And that's when things change really for the Dolphins and the offense. We saw this next play by Tyreek Hill and Tua. And again, it's courtesy of CBS, but it's just amazing to see these guys connecting like they are right here.
Tagovailoa hunts the block. Tua on the move, going deep, speed race. He's got Hill! He's got Hill! He beat James! What a play!
Again,
that's a cheat code.
That guy is definitely Yo,
I'm here.
No, but a couple of things you want to know on that play. You know, you
Toxic
look at
because-
look at Tua's, you know, pocket awareness and his pocket presence and how he reads how it's collapsing around him. Steps up, sees Tyreek, right? It's collapsing around him right there. Steps up, sees Tyreek, doesn't give up on it, and just launches it right in the perfect spot. He overthrows that. He gives the safety a shot to catch up. He underthrows it. The DB's right there. Threw it where only Tyreek can make the play.
excellent call. And again, just the trust that he has in himself and in Tyreek Hill to say, I know that if I put it enough out there, Tyreek Hill's fast enough to make that play. Martin, what you think on that connection right there?
That was the best pass I've ever seen him throw. That's my
Wow.
opinion.
It gets
Wow.
better. There's a better one after that.
No,
Wow.
that was perfect. The fact that he literally overthrows maybe a little more, and Derwin James either hits the ball or hits Tyreek Hill, and yeah, that was and he protected Hill, which I feel like is a big part. So yeah, that was a perfect throw.
That's a good candidate.
The final touchdown, I think, is the best throw.
We'll see it.
hell
We'll
no.
get to
That-
it. We'll
that-
get to it. The fans can make the decision. Rex,
That
what
to
was-
me,
what was your thoughts on that touchdown, on that throw right there between Hill and Tua?
It's just you can see the evolution of our quarterback, bro. Our QB1, knows that he needs to get out of trouble, but he's constantly still searching. And then his mechanics, bro, like he threw that on the move, to his opposite side. It's not like if it was to his left side; it was to his opposite side on the move. In the air, and it was a perfect dot. So it's like. I get tired of defending the guy, bro. I'm glad I don't have to defend him. He can just ball out like that.
No, there's no
At least not this
need
week.
to defend that.
Yeah.
There's no need to defend that. Hell no, not this week. Right?
God, Martin, why?
I've got 6 days of
I
shit
gotta be
talking
that
to
guy.
him, bro.
I gotta be that guy.
Right.
Listen. There's no need to
Wanna
defend
know,
that guy
baby?
this week because right after that we saw this connection to put the game away.
And they go to the end zone and touchdown!
I mean, one thing I want to point out here is Tyreek Hill is 5'10".
Back
5'10".
throw, baby.
So that wasn't a Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones
Throw it up,
fade,
go get
let
it.
him
Yeah,
jump
no.
ball, go get no, Papa. That's put it right on in between the numbers for you. I mean, just that throw is just unreal.
All you gotta do is beat Tyreek Hill and find it, catch it, and make sure that it comes in because it was where it was supposed to be at. We just needed to throw it to the receiver that was gonna catch it, and you know who was gonna catch it. It was gonna be Cheetah 100%.
The reason why the other ones,
unlike him, but yeah, throw it to Tyreek.
the other one's a lot better to me is because you have help over the top. You had to throw it literally in the perfect spot, or your receiver's gonna get hurt. Like you're gonna get hit. Something's gonna happen. There was no he could have thrown it maybe a little more out, and it still probably would have been a touchdown. I get it. It was a perfect pass. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying the other one's better to me because of that.
No, I get it, man. And look, well, again, the throw was perfect, and that's back-to-back perfect throws that Tua had on an
There's just
very
so many
important
of them.
drive.
So
You know
many
what
of
I'm
them this game.
Yeah,
No, for sure, but just important throws on the important part of the game on an important drive in order to get the victory or put yourself in a position to get the victory. And that's the stuff that we need to see from Tua on a consistent basis. And when he's healthy and he has time to throw the football, this is the result. You know what I mean? You're gonna get throws like this, and you're definitely gonna get touchdowns like that. Then we got the sack that ends the game. We kick the ball back to the Chargers, and then this pretty much is over by
Yeah, but what a
guy
roller
looking to get
coaster.
paid. Look at this guy trying to get paid.
I mean, but what a roller coaster of emotions this was because, like you mentioned earlier, going into that, the Chargers were 5 for 5 in the red zone.
Yes, sir.
4 touchdowns and a field goal. We weren't really able to stop them. We had one real big stop that we backed them up in, against their own goal line and they had to punt it away. But besides that, no takeaways, no turnovers, not a lot of sacks before the last couple of the game and the Cole who won. So like it was kind of underwhelming from our defense, and to see them close out, the end there with those sacks, I mean, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really a hell of a performance and a great way to start the season. Excuse me. It's you couldn't ask for a better road trip start to the season. Honestly, you go out there against an opponent that is going to be contending for playoffs, a team that is going to be comparing their quarterback to your quarterback for the rest of their careers, and overall just another AFC opponent that you're going to have to beat in order to get good positioning for the playoffs. And the Dolphins achieved all of that in one shot just by going out there and getting this important dub on the road, 36-34.
And it sets a tone, bro. Like, because now we have a next 2 road trips. Now we're going over to New England, hostile environment, Gillette Stadium, insane.
They just lost today.
Yeah, they did. So you know what? We show up in there with a little fire in our gut, and we know what we have to fix. We know what we got to do. We know we have the power, bro. We just got to finish and execute. That's all it is. So this game was definitely, for me, I see every game as a must win, but it just felt like today was a must win to show the rest of the league. It's not just the Jets out here right now, bro. Like, the Dolphins are out here contending. Stop fucking around with us, man. And we got to put up 30+ points just to prove that.
Well, that's, I guess, the 30 points is another reason why I'm gonna jump to what's the only thing you would change from this game? You always have to have something. What's that one thing of the game? What facet of the game would you have changed or look for improving? Either coaching, special teams, defense.
What is it for you, Mark?
I have one.
What is it for you?
Lack of run game, man. I got to see it more. I don't care if it doesn't work. Like, 5 plays. I need to see it. You don't want to shoot out every game. Like, you don't want to have to score like that. And the fact that we're passing so much puts you in a position that, like, you're going to be 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8, that you're going to need to pass. You need a 3rd and 2 to be able to run the ball and not have to pass it every play. Although they lost, I love the game plan of Kellen Moore. They were able to do both things in the game. Herbert didn't have a great game. Who cares? They ran for over 200 yards. You know what that is? To keep your quarterback, your franchise quarterback, healthy after coming off a injury like he did with a fractured rib or something like that he had. You want to do the same for your quarterback, and you're not going to do a 44 pass attempt.
Yeah, we definitely had the opposite there, right? We had 45 attempts throwing for Tua and 20 attempts as a team rushing. Chargers were on the opposite of that. About 33 throws for Herbert today versus 40 attempts on the rush. Joel, what would be the one thing that you changed this week if you had to change something?
Red zone stops, man. That's the biggest one that stands out to me there. I love the confidence that we have, knowing we can take the ball the length of the field, score, put up points, big plays, electric plays. I'm with Martin. I would like us to run the ball more, to keep Tua healthy and make sure he's, we're not overusing him. But at the end of the day, I think the red zone stops. I want that defense to be, nice and polished. And I know it's just the first game of the season and they made plays when it counted most. But red zone stops.
That's a great call. I agree. Rax, what about you, my boy?
Speaking on the defense, I mean, I agree with you guys as well. The run game definitely would like to see more, but anybody who watches that film sees one thing. Hit them up the gut. They're soft up the middle. Right? The defense really needs to stop this run. That we really got to figure out how to stop the run, because I didn't see a good run stopping game today. I don't know what game you guys saw, or if you agree or not agree. But anybody who looks at that film says they can't stop the run, so pound the fucking ball down their throats and see what happens. Just my opinion. I feel like that's a topic that should be addressed.
That's a great call. That's a great call, because we almost gave up about 100-yard performances to 2 running backs on the same team. That's no bueno. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Martin?
This number stands for something to me. We only literally had a 4-man front most of the game, so we were pretty weak up there. Although you expect your big guys to do something. I'm not giving them excuse, but like we're playing a very vanilla defense. So it was like we're trying to play safe. Everything in front of us, and that's why those yards accumulate. I'm not giving them the excuse, but I feel like as the season goes on, you're gonna see a much better run defense. As we were number 4, top 5 last year, that wasn't really our issue. Our issue was the fact that we gave up big plays. We're not doing that, and you want to limit the touchdowns, but you gotta give and take.
That's very fair. I definitely agree with you. I feel like this defense is definitely going to get more cutthroat as the season goes along and as they get more familiar. We're also missing a big part of that defense, just in Jalen Ramsey. He's a guy that can defend those big body receivers, big tight ends, and having him out there would have definitely made a difference today. But it's on to next week. We got the dub. First game of the season is a wrap. 36-34. And before I leave, I want to get your guys' thoughts. I'm going to put the 4-way screen on. but I want to get your thoughts on this stat that I'm going to drop, and we're going to close the show on. Here's a list of players in the NFL, right, with multiple road games of 450 plus passing yards and 3 or more touchdowns in a game. You ready for this, boys? Joe Montana. Let me know if you heard of that guy.
Montana?
Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl winning Patrick Mahomes, by the way, and Boomer Esiason. Last name on that list, a guy you might see down here for a while. That's Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, did you guys see that guy's drip coming into the stadium today? That boy was wearing the 2000s logo everywhere. Everywhere. I'm talking about.
No, you don't even know. That was the Kith drop. That was the Kith collab, the Kith and NFL or whatever. That jacket is hard. I wanted to get it, dog. It's wow.
That guy's a dolphin in his
you wanted to get it, or you still want to get it?
I think it's sold out. But bro, yeah, he definitely has a chip on his shoulder. And I don't know if it's Ryan Clark's comments. I don't know if it was worldwide comments after last year, and everybody saying he should retire after a couple bad injuries. I mean, the guy looks dialed. He looks focused, and I'm ready for it. I'm here for it, boys.
All right. Before we leave the show, y'all, let me get a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you think we're going to win next week, primetime Sunday Night Football against the Patriots. Martin, wake up.
Tough game, but yeah.
All right, look at that. A full thumbs up across the board. So you know what that means. We got no choice but to get this dub next week. Gentlemen, it's been an honor to do this first week of Only Fan Season 2. 305 is in the building. You guys know what to do, man. Make sure to follow this team. That's Joel, the delusional Dolphin fan. We got Martin, the skeptic, and we got delusional fan number 2. I am Rax in the building. Good job today, guys.
It's good seeing you boys, man.
I muted everybody right there because it's your boy So, and I'm going to close off the show right now. You guys know what to do. Make sure to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend about OnlyFans, because we're going to be bringing you this every single week, every single Dolphins game. Immediate reactions to what we just saw on the big screen TV. You already know what to do. Tell a friend, and when you tell that friend, let them know to hit that subscribe button and drop a like and a comment. Till next time. Peace.